Right now on Morning News Now, pre-planned attack. The manhunt continues for the gunman. Police say targeted and killed UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a New York City hotel. But we're learning about the threats that were made against Thompson before the shooting and the shell casings that were found at the scene. Not backing down. President-elect Trump's embattled pick for defense secretary says he is not stepping aside in his bid to join the Trump administration. Pete Hegseth set to meet again today with Republican lawmakers. The latest as Hegseth deals with the fallout of sexual assault and alcohol abuse allegations against him. No confidence. The French government toppled. Lawmakers passing a no confidence vote, a measure against the prime minister and his cabinet. How the embattled leader is reacting this morning and what's at stake for French President Macron just ahead. And getting prepared. We know you're busy this holiday season, but we've got a couple things you might want to add to your to-do list to get ready for tax season in the new year. How to prepare now so you can stay ahead and maximize that refund. Good to have you with us on this Thursday morning. I'm Joe Fryer. Savannah is on assignment. We're going to begin this morning with the latest on the manhunt for the gunman who shot and killed UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The NYPD is calling it a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack. The brazen shooting was captured on a security camera playing out on the busy streets of Midtown Manhattan just as the workday was beginning on Wednesday. This morning, NBC News has learned that shell casings found at the scene had the words deny, defend, and depose written on them. That's according to a senior New York City law enforcement official briefed on the investigation. After the attack, police say the shooter took off through an alley, grabbed an e-bike, and rode into Central Park, which was filled with morning runners and walkers. A law enforcement source briefed on the investigation tells NBC News these photos of the suspect were taken before the shooting. WNBC reporter Chris Jose has the latest.
Images of a gunman plastered all over Midtown, a manhunt underway, the NYPD asking for the public's help to find a killer. The chilling scene playing out on surveillance video, a gunman shooting and killing UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside the Hilton Hotel on 54th Street and 6th Avenue. The shooter using what appears to be a suppressor on the gun, firing 3 shots. Thompson's family speaking out as police search for the suspect.
Brian was a wonderful person with a big heart and who lived life to the fullest. He will be greatly missed by everybody. Our hearts are broken and we are completely devastated by this news.
Thompson, who's from the Twin Cities, was scheduled to speak at his company's annual investor conference at the Hilton. The conference now canceled. Police released this photo of the shooter wearing a mask inside a Midtown Starbucks before the attack. Police say the shooting was targeted.
The shooter steps onto the sidewalk from behind the car. He ignores numerous other pedestrians, approaches the victim from behind, and shoots him in the back.
The shooting happening in front of a woman who runs away unharmed. A witness watching it unfold from his parked car.
I was shocked, because this first time I see crime in front of me. I was shocked. And now I'm afraid that she could shoot me too.
The shooter took off through an alley, according to the NYPD, grabbed an e-bike, and was last seen in Central Park. In a phone call with NBC News, Thompson's wife expressing concern. There has been threats, basically, I don't know, a lack of coverage, adding, I don't know details. I just know that he said there were some people that had been threatening him.
I want to be clear. At this time, every indication is that this was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack.
Cops now sifting through Thompson's social media and speaking to his family to find out if Thompson had any known enemies.
The idea of a CEO being targeted, he just kind of makes you wonder, It is an insurance company, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Our thanks to Chris Jose for that report. For more, we're joined now by NBC News terrorism analyst, retired ATF special agent in charge, Jim Kavanaugh. Jim, good morning. Good to have you with us. So let's start off with that new reporting. The bullets used to kill Brian Thompson had the words deny, defend, and depose written on them. Now, the NYPD, they said it's a targeted shooting. The motive, though, still is unclear. From what you know, does this look like a professional assassination? And just what do you make of those words that were written on those bullets?
Well, I mean, I think it's very important to the investigation, the words written on the bullets, number one. Let's talk about that. And everybody's jumped to the conclusion yesterday that it's absolutely a targeted shooting at this one executive, everything else thrown away. And I said yesterday on air, look, that's the major lead category, certainly. It really looks like Mr. Thompson was the target, and your detectives have to be set there. But you can't totally accept that, because from the facts we know, we're just not sure of that. In other words, random killers, the first one they do also looks targeted. So maybe 5% of your investigative effort here needs to be make sure you have an open mind here. And when you get this defend, deny, depose on the bullets, certainly it could be a red herring, clearly could be, but it also could be telling us what's in this guy's mind. So I would just say, if I was the commander on this, I would be looking certainly in the major lead category that it was Mr. Thompson who was the target for a reason specifically to him alone. But I'd also be looking at, is this someone who's looking to kill, businessmen, or someone who looks like a businessman on the street? And was that location picked because it had his escape route? In other words, it was picked because it was in front of a major hotel where he knew a convention was, where he knew businessmen come. And he has an escape route down the alley, the city bike, into the park, and he disappears. And, the timing of it, to me, I'm just not clear on how exactly he timed this particular guy's arrival within 5 minutes at 6:46 a.m. I still haven't been able to reconcile that in my mind. Or was he a person who was going on the sidewalk, waiting for someone in a suit, a businessman, or maybe even this particular businessman, that's possible, and, going to kill him? So all the answers aren't in. So when you start repeating to yourself as the commanders, oh, yeah, it's targeted only at Mr. Thompson, you could lose the lead that maybe this is a broader thing. And that defend, depose, deny could be a red herring. Like I say, somebody could put that on there, Joe, just to throw you off. Or it could be a peek into the killer's mind. In other words, I'm this anarchist, agent of chaos. I want to take out, the establishment.
So, Jim,
here's
because
an example of it. So who knows?
Because of that route that he took that you mentioned there with the bike, I mean, just at this point, 24 hours later, how hard is it going to be to find him now? What do investigators need to do to try to locate this gunman?
Well, the telephone in the alley is one lead. They got to decide if that really is him. Again, it could be also not related at all because it's a big city. People drop cell phones. It could have been him dropping it as a red herring. It could really be his cell phone. There's a lot of questions there. The cameras, Joe, that everybody's talked about, they're piecing that together. Can they find one where his mask is off? Certainly the shell casings, there can be fingerprints on shell casings. There could be DNA. Him racking the gun, him having the silencer. Look, it's premeditated. He was going to murder. He went for some planning and effort to do this. But, is he a professional killer? Not from the way he acted, I don't think. Not from his manner in shooting. His gun is not functioning right. It's not feeding right. He's manipulating it. He ejected 3 live rounds on the street. He clearly wanted to leave the messages, defend, deny, depose, and so he wants you to know that. Mm-hmm. I'd be alert. Could there be another message coming on a Reddit site or some site somewhere on the internet? So There's a lot cooking in this case. Commanders just got to keep an open mind.
All right, Jim Kavanaugh. Jim, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you. Turning now to the latest in the battle over President-elect Trump's controversial cabinet picks. His defense secretary choice, Pete Hegseth, vowing to fight for the job. That's despite Republican sources telling NBC News that as many as 6 GOP senators are not comfortable supporting his nomination. Hegseth's bid to lead the Department of Defense is facing significant challenges amid mounting allegations of excessive drinking as well as a sexual assault. Now, Hegseth was not charged, but paid his accuser a sum as part of a settlement in 2023. Has also said he would not drink if he was nominated and confirmed in the role. The Trump campaign is denying multiple reports suggesting the president-elect is now eyeing a replacement for Hegseth, a list that includes Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. On Wednesday, Hegseth told conservative commentator Megyn Kelly that Mr. Trump has encouraged him to keep fighting. He also denied allegations he has a problem with alcohol.
Ultimately, he reiterated the same thing this morning. Hey, Pete, I got your back. It's a fight. They're coming after you. Get after it. First of all, I've never had a drinking problem. No one's ever approached me and said, oh, you should really look at getting help for a drink. Never.
NBC News White House correspondent Ali Rafa joins us now with the latest. Ali, good morning. So Hegseth wrote an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal yesterday accusing the media of trying to take him down. Keep in mind, a few weeks ago, he was part of the media. What else is he doing to try and counter these allegations about his personal life and try and save his nomination?
Yeah, Joe, good morning. Well, Pete Hegseth is remaining defiant in this fight to become the next defense secretary, and he's trying to get in front of as many faces as possible to make his case. As you mentioned, he wrote that combative op-ed in the Wall Street Journal yesterday. He also sat down for an interview with another former Fox News host, Megyn Kelly, yesterday, in which he said that President-elect Trump still has his back. He blamed the press for what he called a smear campaign. And then, as you mentioned, he vowed that if confirmed as defense secretary, he would quit drinking altogether. And we know that's something especially personal to the president-elect, who himself does not drink alcohol. And he says that is because of his brother's death from alcoholism. We also saw his own mother on Fox News yesterday after, over the weekend, the New York Times reported that she wrote a scathing email to him amid his divorce from his second wife, in which she called him an abuser of women. The New York Times saying that she immediately wrote a subsequent email to him in which she apologized. And on Fox News yesterday, she said that Hegseth is, quote, a new person, saying he's redeemed, forgiven, changed, and saying, I think he is the man for the job. So this is really an all hands on deck effort to really assuage these doubters of Hegseth. The big question now is whether this is making any impact at all.
Yeah, I mean, so just real quickly, in terms of the vote count in the Senate, do we have an idea what the odds are that he'll get confirmed?
So Republican sources are telling NBC that there are more than 3 Republican senators that are already a no on Hegseth. And remember, that is the number he can afford to lose to still get confirmed. If any more Republican senators vote no with all Democratic senators, that will essentially tank his nomination. And so this is why you're seeing this all hands on deck effort, and Hegseth going to Capitol Hill, meeting with all of these senators, even going yesterday to the House side to meet with Republican representatives and asking them to publicly defend him. And our Hill team, as you mentioned in the intro there, is hearing that possibly that number could actually be as high as 6. So obviously that could change considering this ongoing campaign by Hegseth. But that is where the number stands right now, Joe.
Yeah, he won't get confirmed if 6 say no. So meanwhile, you got at least 2 sources who've told NBC News the president-elect is looking for a replacement nominee to lead the DOD. What do we know about who he might be considering for the job?
Yeah, sources familiar with these discussions say that these possible contenders include, because of that leadership experience compared to Hegseth, and sources familiar with these discussions also say that some other possible contenders include Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, as well as Tennessee Senator Bill Hagerty. Joe.
All right, Ali Rafa, thank you so much. The House task force investigating the assassination attempts of President-elect Donald Trump will hold its final hearing on Capitol Hill today. The bipartisan panel is expected to question acting U.S. Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe. They're looking into 2 different attempts on Mr. Trump's life, one at a Pennsylvania campaign rally in July, another on a Florida golf course in September. The panel aims to wrap up its inquiry and release a report in the coming weeks. That report will detail the security failures by the Secret Service that rattled the country during the height of the presidential campaign. NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ali Vitale joins us now with more on this. Ali, good morning. So just what can we expect from this final hearing and acting Director Rowe's testimony today?
Well, we've only seen this committee, rather task force, publicly do one hearing. And so this will be the last one. It will also only be the second time that we've seen this group of bipartisan lawmakers gather in a public forum and sort of tell the public what new things they've learned. I imagine that one of the things that we're going to hear about is their visits to the Butler site, which they talked about in their first hearing, but then also their visits to the West Palm Beach site of that second attempted assassination attempt. And that will be a clear focus. But I think that when you look at what it could look like going forward, the fact that the acting Secret Service director is the sole witness does point us to the fact that they are going to be looking at what structurally went wrong, which everyone agrees on in bipartisan fashion, that clearly something went wrong if this was able to happen, specifically in Butler. But then also what can make sure it never happens again. And I think that's where the final report and also this final hearing are going to be really important.
How's the task force's findings going to impact the Secret Service? Could changes come out of this?
Well, and we'll wait to see what Roe says, because I think that one of the criticisms that we've seen of the Secret Service in the multiple appearances that both the former director and now the acting director have made on Capitol Hill is that they have not been particularly forthcoming with answers to key questions. Basically, how could this have happened? And I think lawmakers are eager, as the public is, to get some specifics on what went wrong and how to ensure it doesn't happen again. So we'll be looking for that in Roe's testimony. Certainly, the taking accountability piece is clear, and we've seen that from the Secret Service. But lawmakers are going to want this acting director to go a step further. They've also been able to subpoena and get records from various other agencies that are in relation to the Secret Service. And so we'll be eager to see what those findings actually are based on the committee's work behind the scenes, and also if they've been able to glean anything from actually going to these sites. Ultimately, they're going to push forward on a final report. We're going to see that by the end of the year, not just because they're good workers and want to be productive before 2025, but also because the task force itself has to, based on the way that it was created initially congressionally, has to issue a final report by the end of the year.
All right. Ali Vitale. Ali, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
2 kindergarten students are in critical condition after a school shooting yesterday in California. It happened north of Sacramento at the Feather River Adventist School in Palermo. The sheriff says the shooting began after the gunman met with the principal to talk about enrolling a student. The boys, who were injured, 5 and 6 years old, they were both rushed to the hospital. As for the shooter, officials say he was found dead. It appears he shot himself. The sheriff explained why this particular school may have been targeted.
We have received some information that leads us to believe that the subject responsible for this shooting targeted this school because of its affiliation with the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And what we're currently seeing leads me at this point to believe that this is an isolated incident.
The gunman has not yet been identified publicly by police. Officials also say they don't believe he had any connection to the school. Time now for weather. Millions are under winter alerts this morning in the Midwest and parts of the Northeast. Meteorologist Angie Lassman is tracking the snow and more for us this morning. Angie, good morning.
Good morning, Joe. Winter in full force out there, and we've got a couple of impacts that folks across this same region of the Northeast and the Great Lakes could see here in the next couple of days. Let's start with those winter alerts. They're quite expansive, 17 million people included in them. They stretch from New England up through parts of the Great Lakes, and they do have some blizzard warnings included in there, specifically for places like Erie, Pennsylvania, which, as you might remember, just a couple of days ago received a really good dose of some snow. More on the way here in the coming days, not just for Erie, for a couple of spots. We've got plenty of rain kind of working out across parts of the coastal areas of the Northeast. We've got some snow for places like Hartford, stretching into parts of New York and back towards the lakes. This is kind of the routine that we're going to be in here for the day today, and then we'll see most of that move out by the time we get into tomorrow. This is all part of a Clipper system. It means it's a fast-moving system. That's part of it being a Clipper system, and that's going to be out of the picture before you know it here as we get to the end of the day today. But in the meantime, those strong winds and those really intense kind of snow bands are going to set up and impact us with travel on the roads and potentially travel in the air. Notice back behind the system, even when it's long gone, we're still going to see those winds coming across the lakes and producing a good amount of snow downwind of the lake. So just east of those lakes, specifically in places that, again, have already received a good amount of snow in just the last week or so. When it's all all said and done with this additional snowfall through Saturday, notice some of those higher amounts, about a foot in places across New York and Pennsylvania, but we could see localized amounts double that, so up to 2 feet by the time we get through the weekend. So heads up for travel on the roads there. Also, we've got really strong winds behind it. If you go outside in places like New York, Philadelphia, State College, Hartford today, you're going to notice just how gusty it is. We've got 51 million people under these wind alerts right now. Now, when we look at the peak winds as we get through the day, 40, 50 mile per hour winds are what's on the high end. That includes places like New York and Baltimore, but 30s plus across parts of the Great Lakes and the Midwest. Now, this is going to be problematic for the potential for maybe some downed trees, some downed power lines, but also when it comes to travel, this will likely affect airplanes taking off today, specifically in places like New York. So we've got Newark, we've got LaGuardia, of course, Philadelphia Airport also, and then potential delays to look out for Boston, Washington, D.C., Detroit, and Chicago. So just a heads up for anyone traveling today. And otherwise, it's the cold that will get your attention across the plains. We have got temperatures into, the single digits across parts of the northern plains. But even Cincinnati, it is 20 degrees there right now, but feeling like a whopping 5 degrees, -6 below in Chicago. The extra layers are definitely needed, Joe. And you'll notice all of that cool air starts to filter a little farther to the east by the time we get to the end of the work week. Notice 35 degrees in Detroit for Friday. Norfolk ends up into the low 40s. These temperatures below normal for this time of year, but definitely feeling like winter as far south as Atlanta, Charleston, who will just top out into the 40s. Even Memphis not getting out of the 30s for tomorrow. And then we've got 50s on tap along the Gulf Coast. So, people that were asking for the winter feel, your wishes are commanded.
You get what you asked for. I have to say, I was at the tree lighting last night, and the snow started coming down in the middle of the performance. It's not obviously enough to accumulate, but it was pretty. It was blowing around. It was magical.
Listen, it's part of the experience as long as it's you were bundled up.
Oh, yeah. I had like many
prepared.
I was in Minnesota, and I had many layers on. Thank you.
I never doubted you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.